Hi, this is Steve from Simply Casting Off. Welcome to the channel. I've just come down to the boat to spend the night on my Bayliner. So it's getting a little bit dark now, so I'm probably not going to be able to do a walk around the boat, and it's absolutely tipping it down as well. We've also had gusty winds, which have calmed down, but they're about 40-mile-an-hour gusts still. So it's pretty windy, pretty rainy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get on the boat, get all my gear on the boat for the night, and hook up the shore power because I haven't got that permanently hooked up. Then I'll do a little tour around the boat, and I'm going to have some breakfast on the boat in the morning as well, so I can probably do a walk around in the morning and show you the engine and other bits and pieces as well. So right, I'm going to get to it and I'll see you soon. Well, hello, I'm on the boat. I've rigged up the electrics, so we've got some lights, as you can see. I've just sealed up the tarp on the deck. The fact that the rain can get through the tarp now where I've undone it is not a problem, because it'll just run into the boat and then there's drainage that takes it out down the side of the boat. I'll explain all that a little bit later. So I wanted to give you a full tour of the boat really. The reason I've come down on New Year's Day on such a crappy weather day is because when I eventually live on a boat, which will probably be maybe from any time next year, from next March onwards, excuse me, I figured that I'm going to be doing loads of stuff out in the rain. I'm going to be doing dangerous stuff. I mean, what I've just done here is really, really dangerous. I've got to wire my shoreline going out to the power thing. I didn't know which switch turns the power on, so I just turned them all on, but there's no one else connected. Absolutely chucking it down with rain. The gangways down on the moorings are slippery as heck. I put a like a sand grip decking piece on my part of the pontoon just by my boat because I fell in, yeah, that's another story. I fell in one summer. It was actually when we were during lockdown. I was down here just maintaining the boat. But anyway, I was trying to get some stuff. There was a load of debris down by the side of the boat. I was trying to get rid of it. I ended up jumping across, and I fell in, hit my teeth on the pontoon and knocked my front tooth out. Literally broke it in half. So my tooth at the moment is actually a dental job, which has been okay, touch wood, for the last few years. So we don't want that breaking again, because that was 300 odd quid. Probably cost more now to repair it. Anyway, thought I'd come down the boat, have some dinner. I've been out in the woods today doing some other filming. I've checked my phone's on charge, so we've got the electric, so the battery's charging from the mains now, which is all good. So let's do a little walk around. So I've locked the door. The door has a little lock on the latch there, and the lid comes down, and then you get a lock on there. There's a curtain that goes across here for privacy, which I will put across in a second. That's here. Got a few other bits and pieces down on the boat, got various tools down on the boat that I use. My carbon monoxide monitor, which I left on inadvertently the other day, so that should be fine. In fact, let's just test that. Ouch, yes, that's loud. I've got one pillow. Oh, I forgot to bring my pillow. I knew I forgot something. Luckily, I've got some cushions there, and I've got some other soft. I've got loads more cushions actually. I've got some more cushions there, so I should be fine. My bed, now this is the main bed area, and what happens is that big triangular piece of board there goes, I hope you can see all this all right, it goes on those ridges here, extends the bed out, and then what you do is you put there's a mattress there which covers over it, so you get this. But I can't sleep on this, I'm just too tall. My feet hang over the edge. Certainly can't sleep two people. Can't sleep me and the wife. So I sleep under here, which I will get some light on the subject. Torch, right, so here we go. So that's the head of the bed there, and then it goes underneath. You've got the fuel tank, it's kind of down to the left, but it goes down to the end there, as you can see. And this is the aft berth. It's actually a double berth. So this is a 4-berth boat, but I sleep under there, throw my arms and legs around as you do, and everything else. So so that works nicely. So this is a Bayliner Ciera 2.3 345, I think. I'll put a text up on exactly what it is, but Bayliner Ciera is 23 foot, 7 meters, essentially, roughly. And I've had it about, well, since 2018. I think I've had it since 2019. When did we have lockdown and COVID and all that? That was 2019, wasn't it? So yeah, I think I got it 2018. Had it for the summer. Wrecked the engine. Whole story there. I took it right out to a place called the Varn, which is about 14 miles off of Dover, because I had it moored in Dover, which was costing me nearly £3 grand a year just to moor it. But it was a nice mooring, and it was it wasn't tide dependent, so I could go out low tide, high tide, whatever, out through the western entrance. And yeah, I went out with a mate fishing, and we went up all day out in the Varn, and we were coming back in absolutely fine, no problems at all day. We've been starting the engine, stopping the engine, starting the engine, dropped anchor for a little bit, and went right across this Varn, which is a massive sandbank halfway across to France, where you can catch loads of fish, and we caught loads of fish. 3 miles or 2 miles off of Dover port, there was an almighty crank, and the engine stopped. And it was just the most awful feeling. Excuse me. I need a non-alcoholic cider. And so yeah, and that was it. And then anyway, cut long story short, we got towed in. I didn't use the lifeboat. A lot of people use the lifeboat, but I thought, well, you know, at the time I thought, well, I want to keep them free for real rescues. You know, we were fine. We were just literally 2 miles off. We weren't drifting anywhere too badly. We had everything. We weren't sinking. We had life jackets and everything else. So the tug came out. They charged us about 80 quid, I think, to tow us into port to our berth. Well, my berth in the marina. And then I got somebody out from a local engine repair to have a look at it, and he quoted me £3 grand. So I thought, well, I could get a new one for the £3 grand. One of these, you know, Chinese kind of knockoffs. I could have got a whole new engine. It's a 180 horsepower 4.3 Mer Cruiser engine in there. But what I didn't realise anyway, when I bought the boat, the engine was absolutely knackered and had been knackered, and they sold me a complete duff. Yeah, I was completely conned. I was conned by the surveyor, who I stupidly went with the surveyor that the boat sale place recommended, which you should never do. I've subsequently found out. So they obviously had a little crafty deal, and he signed everything off and said, oh yeah, everything's all working. Well, you know, the engine was on its way out. The risers, apparently, I don't know a lot about these engines, but the risers were knackered, rusted, had let in loads of water. The bow trims still don't work to this day, even though he got it in. I paid to have them fixed, and then they said, oh yeah, we've got the surveyor in, checked it all out, and he said, yeah, they're all working. Never worked on this boat. So absolute nightmare. Anyway, £8,000 later. Don't even go there. The engine was completely rebuilt. I said, look, I could have bought a brand new engine for this. And he goes, oh yeah, we're engineers, we rebuild things. I said, I don't care what you do. I want the cheapest option for my boat. But anyway, I managed to put a major complaint in, and I got it for a bit cheaper, quite a bit cheaper than that. But that was the bill, £8 grand, over £8 grand, £8.5 grand. And he took all summer, literally. I got it back in the September, couldn't use it, the whole summer was gone. So we moved it from Dover to Ramsgate. Oh no, we didn't. We moved it to Sandwich, and had a lovely little spot on the river, and I learnt to moor it into the river, which was really good. The problem we had in the Dover Marina was any sort of wind. This acts like it's got a sail, but it acts like it's got a sail and a motor that's going in completely opposite directions and everything else. There's no bow thrusters. It's not big enough for that sort of thing. But with the water completely still in the marina, you just go around in circles. It was an absolute nightmare. But with the river, you can use the river flow to do a ferry boat manoeuvre into your mooring, and we found it's much easier since then. So I'll demonstrate that hopefully this year when I get her cleaned up and get her out. But yeah, for all intents and purposes, we've got a brand new engine in here, which has got I think less than about, I've taken it up the estuary for a couple of times literally, which is about an hour per trip. We've taken it up there about 3-4 times, so that maybe 3-4 hours plus a 2-hour trip from Dover to here, and maybe another couple of other trips. Definitely less than 15, well, absolutely less than 20 hours on the engine. So it's brand new, and I start it regularly and change it, check the oil and all that sort of thing. So hasn't had a service. They said service it after 50 hours, but it's not even done 20. And I'll probably sell it before it does 50 anyway, because I want to get a sailboat next year, and then and also a liveaboard. Anyway, probably bored you to sleep. Time to wake up. I'm going to get changed into something a little bit more dry, and then we'll do the rest of the tour. Right, hope you don't mind. I've got dressed into my gym jams and my dressing gown, which is a new one for me on camera. But I just wanted to get comfy. All my clothes were totally soaked through, just literally getting onto the boat. Right, so I'll show you my bedroom setup. Hopefully you can still hear me. That's the bedroom. I have a remote mic which I'm going to put on in a second, but I'll also just do the tour of the... Actually, let's put the mic on. Hopefully that's better. Hopefully you can hear me properly now. So when I turn the camera away from me, you can actually hear me. Right, let's do a tour of the head, which is the toilet in boating terms. We've got a lock up here, we've got a handle there, lovely mirror, there's a mirror on there, and then we have, oh, we've got a light, let's get the lights on, there we are. So we've got a little porthole there, which you would just see the river, loo roll and everything else. There's a bit of a storage area under here where I store a hose to wash stuff down. There are some shampoos, spare shampoos and stuff there. This loo, so what it does is it flushes out straight out of the boat out to sea. So this is it uses something called a seacock. What you do is you where it says here, you flush, you pump in the bowl, so you draw in like that into the bowl from the sea, from the river. And there's a seacock in the engine where you have to turn that on, and it allows water to draw in through here to flush it. You have to switch that over like that. That draws it in, and then you switch it like that, and then you pump it again. It pumps it back out. Hope that makes sense. But when you do that, quite often on the river, it draws in loads of shrimpies and marine life, which I'm thinking it's not very nice for them, is it? After you've just had a pee. Drawing in loads of shrimps into your pee and then flushing it back out again. So what I just use a bit of water, and I'll just rinse out the bowl with water. I've got water storage of about, I don't know, 120 litres or maybe even more than that, and that is stored in the front behind the seat, behind that seat. Just drying my boots off because they're soaked. We've got a little what do you call it, porthole up here. There's loads of spiders all hidden in there in the hinges, so when you open that up you get loads of spiders come down, which is nice. There's a little bit of a leak there as well. Might be condensation actually. Yes, condensation. That's all right. I didn't bring my heater. I was going to bring my heater and I completely forgot because I knew I was hooking up to the shore power. But it's really quite warm. So let me just talk you through the bed properly. Now I've got the mic on. Right, so I've used this silver thing. So I use this when I'm tarp camping, when I do like wild camping and stuff, and just reflects the heat back up, because sometimes it can get a bit cold, because I think underneath there, the mattresses, you've got literally just fiberglass, and then it's empty, and then I think the fuel's under there actually, and then it goes down to the water, so it gets really, really cold sometimes at night. So then I've got one sleeping bag, and then I use another sleeping bag on top for a cover, and I've got this big eider down here, double eider down. That should be more than enough. Worst case scenario, I'll just wear loads of clothes, I'll put my dressing gown on and everything else, so it should be absolutely fine. So now, what time are we? 10 to 5. I might have some dinner in a minute, and a non-alcoholic cider to settle down. Oh, we've got the galley. Let's show you that as well. So this is a pump tap. You just draw the water up like that. You have to prime it, and then the water starts to flow from the little hole there. Just drying my jacket off. Actually, I'll probably put that in the bathroom, and that will probably fall off in the night and frighten the hell out of me. Never mind. So yes, back to the tap. So that's the tap. We've got the sink there. That just blocks the water going out, but the water then just goes out the side of the boat. So I try not to put too much junk down there. Washing up bowl. A bit of storage in here. Just got me washing up liquids, some old coffees, some ropey old sweeteners, bit of soap. Oh, there's a chilli in there. I bet that's not in date. Best before end of 2024. It's good till yesterday. Perfect. And then we've got, I think I've just got more. Yeah, it's just more washing up stuff in there. There's a kettle in there as well. I'll probably even use that. Pour some water. And then the cooker is really simple, which is an alcohol burning cooker stove. Excuse me, I was just listening in on some marine traffic for a laugh. Let's put that there. Right, so this thing is there. Right, so that's my stove, and underneath here is like a little tub. Should have some in actually. It's got some bioethanol in there, which burns nicely. Flame comes up through there, and you pop your pans on top. And it does the job. I've also brought a little portable gas stove, camping gas stove as well, in case I wanted to have two hobs going at the same time. So, which sometimes I do. And that's pretty much everything. I'll show you the engine tomorrow and all the electrics and everything else. Oh, I've got a stereo here, stereo radio there, radio 1. Speakers up the end. There's also speakers which I replaced up on deck, and you can switch between the two. So you've got cockpit and the cabin. So the cockpit's up on deck, and it switches between the two. And there we go. Radio 1. I don't listen to radio really, but all works anyway. And that's pretty much it really. Just got some documents stashed in there, a few little maps and stuff. No map table as such. Table, that's the little table, and you can use that up on deck, or you can use it down here as well. So you got this thing, there's a table leg, which goes in that hole down the bottom there. Screws into that. Table goes on there, and I'll show you that a bit later anyway when I'm having some dinner. Which I'll probably do soon. So as I say, I'll probably be a fairly short video because you can probably hear it's just absolutely piddling down. There's not really much I can do, so I'm just going to sit, listen to a bit of music, listen to the radio, listen to some marine radio to see what we got coming on. I like listening to when the boats come in through the channel. The Coast Guard likes to interrogate them and find out what they've got on board, and the sort of stuff that gets sails through our channel is amazing. You'd be surprised. Lots of explosives, arms and all sorts of stuff, tank material, all that sort of thing. It's quite funny. Now, I didn't check the bed for spiders. I have got a hoover under here, which quite often I hoover out, but most of the spiders are reasonably friendly. There are some false widows, but once they hear me get into bed, they should bugger off. I've never had one crawling all over me, so should generally be okay. I've got my pillow here, which just give that a shake out, and that should be generally, it's okay. Can't see anything living in there. Hopefully we'll be okay. And then I'll use some cushions as well. There's a shake, just in case. Don't want to get bitten in the head, bitten in the face, do we? There we are. Right, I'm going to get some food on, have a little cider, have a little chill, and probably will see you in the morning. Just going to show you the fridge as well. It's not really a fridge, it's not powered, but that's in there. So you've got storage there. This part is like an ice tray. So what you do is you put a block of ice on there and it gradually melts. And it's got a tube that goes down the back. So you can see the tube at the bottom. And that goes out. So when it melts, this fills up with water and just melt and goes out the side of the boat. But it circulates, I believe, and then just chills the whole fridge. You got some bits and pieces here for like milk and other stuff. This time of year, it's cold anyway. I could do with obviously if I live abroad, I'd need a really decent, proper fridge. But it does work in the summer. I've also got I put a cigarette lighter attachment under the helm of the steering wheel, which is rigged up to the 12-volt batteries, so I can plug in my cooler, my camping cooler, which cools down to about a few degrees below the ambient temperature. So that does the job there with the 12-volt batteries. Runs on 2 batteries. Got 2 batteries in parallel. What it should be really is 2 batteries in parallel that service the rest of the boat, like the lighting and the windlass for the anchor and things like that, and then you should have 1 dedicated battery for the engine. So the original setup that I had was wrong. I haven't actually changed it, but what I do have is a spare battery that's isolated from the main battery that I can use, if that suddenly drains or anything like that. So I have had a couple of issues where I've been out, the engine's cut out, I've tried to start it and can't start it, just because it needs it needs a lot of power to get it started. But when that's happened, I've managed to have like a little battery pack with me, sort of thing that I just keep in my car. But it's worked every time. Just run down to the engine, whack that on, and get the engine started, and it's okay. Because once you're drifting towards another vessel, everyone on board has to kind of get the boat hooks out and try not to smash into another boat. So yeah, solo cruising is not really going to be my bag, but solo sailing is something I'm really looking forward to doing. And that's what I'm going to be working my way up to doing. Ideally, I want something called a Westerly Centaur, which is a twin bilge keel, which means it's got two keels. So instead of having 1 straight keel like that, it has keels coming out the side like that. So as the tide goes down on a mooring, if it hits the seabed, it's okay, it won't topple over. So I don't need too deep a mooring, is what I'm saying. And where I'm at this boat club, that would be absolutely ideal. So that's what I'm looking to do going forward. And they usually have like a single piston, single cylinder diesel engine to get them in and out of port, and the rest of it is sailing. So and these things have sailed, those Westerly Centaurs have sailed across the Atlantic apparently, many of them have. So I'm not sure I'll be doing that, but maybe sail across the channel, that'd be good fun. Maybe in a year or so, we'll see. But I do want to take this one out, because it really does, cruise. I mean, when we brought it back from Dover, we were cruising along about sort of probably only about 15-20 knots. Could have gone a lot faster, but we were up on a plane, and engine sounded really, really nice. So yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that again this summer. It's just been a few years because I've had a lot going on. I think I'm going to cook a quick meal, and I might have an early night. Right, I don't know what the temperature is outside, but I've just put the bed up in the middle just to sort of lay down and relax, chill, listen to some music, drink my cider. And I'm really freezing cold now. I forgot to bring my little heater down. I've got like an 800-watt heater. It might even be 600 watts, but yeah, it doesn't run on much, and that normally heats the boat up fine. But yeah, I'm really cold now, so I'm going to get some. I've got a beef and vegetable soup. Get that on. That should warm the place up, because we get the flame going, and that will heat everything up and hopefully warm up the cabin a little bit. And then I'm going to have an early night. I think maybe just sit in the bed, especially on that reflective material that gets really warm down there. So yeah, so I'm going to cook up a nice meal. Just cooking this up now. I can smell the burning of the alcohol bioethanol, which is heating up nicely. It's quite a strong smell. So I don't want to open up the hatch because it's chucking it down outside and that'll probably let in all the rain. So I've got my carbon monoxide monitor, and this won't take long to heat up, so I'm going to eat that. Not much beef in there. It's supposed to be a beef and vegetable soup from Aldi. So I'm going to have that and then settle down, listen to a bit more music, and then have an early night. See you in the morning. Well, good morning. That was the roughest night I've had in a long time, and the coldest night in a long time, because I didn't bring my heater last night. And I went to bed at 7 and I woke up at 7, so 12 hours sleep, but I didn't really get 12 hours sleep. I was wrestling with my sleeping bag overnight, and it was very, very uncomfortable, and I was absolutely freezing. Got up this morning, put my trousers on that were soaking wet yesterday, and it was like I'd just taken them out of the fridge. They're all like stiff and cold and still wet. So yeah, it's not an ideal situation. So I don't think I'll stay down here until the spring now, unless I do bring my heater, because it was absolutely freezing and I've had a bit of a headache overnight as well. So yeah, not the best of nights. So I'm not going to cook some breakfast. I'm just going to get the coffee on, which I'm doing now. Hopefully that'll warm things up in here a little bit, and then I'm going to get off home. So rather than do a tour of the boat, I'll leave that for another video where when I've got some sunshine and I can get the whole canopy off the top, and I can show you all the helm and the cockpit and the engine, and you know, get that running on there as well. So hopefully you've had a good view of the inside and what it's like. It's quite a sizable boat, really. I mean, there's quite a lot of room for one. You could probably live on here. One person could probably live on here. If you were careful and didn't mind too smaller spaces. My alcohol burner is running out, so I think I'm going to have to top that up. But it's nice to wake up to the duckies and just paddling around the boat. The tide is emptying out, so it's going down at a hell of a rate. And last night there was a lot of really big bangs in the boat where you know, you get big logs and big chunks of wood smash into the back of the boat and the bow as the tide goes back and forth. So that, you know, woke me up with a jolt, but which can't be helped. It's just part of the river, and hopefully the bow can take it. Anyway, I've got to go. I'll see you on the next video. Thank you very much for watching. Appreciate it, and I'll see you soon.